Hey everyone, it's your boy Matty Rants. Thank you for tuning in again. This is not another episode of Drag Race, but the newest installment series for Sundays with me, the Matty Rants Diaries. And I gotta tell you, this one I'm really excited about. I thought about it and I said, you know what, let's get personal. I had one of you tell me, you know, Matthew, I love watching your Drag Race videos, but I wanna get to know more about you. And you know what, we're certainly gonna do that. And we're gonna do it in a good way to where we all can learn about each other and talk about certain issues that we may have, things that we're happy about. It's not gonna be a whole depressing note each and every time. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all of the above, okay? So take a look down, take a look at those links. Those are my Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Facebook and Instagram is at Matty Rants and Twitter is at How About Matthew. I see a lot of new Twitter people and I thank you for the love. Mwah. I really appreciate it. But why don't we just go ahead and get on into this now? Now, today's topic is going to be something that has been addressed in other videos, and it's about negativity, and it's called the negative zone, okay? The negative zone is that place you put yourself in when people get in your head or you get in your own head about things and you tell yourself, I can't do this. I'm not worthy of that. I'm not able to. The not, the no's, the can't, you know, cannot, what really is that about? It's this whole self-doubting thing that destroys some of our strength that we already have. And we as people have to learn to fight that little monster in our head that's telling us, no, we can't do that. We're not worthy of those things. And I'm gonna bring up some situations that I had in my life where basically that definitely applies. We can go into friendships. Now, I used to have a lot of friends, okay? I still have a lot of friends, but there were people who I used to really like hang and chill with, but I no longer care about what is going on in their life. You know, I wish them the best. I hope that everything works out for them. You know, I'm never going to wish ill on anybody. If you are a person that wishes ill on someone, stop. That's wasted energy for no one. You're wasting so much energy on that. But there were people who I used to roll with that I found out weren't team me. You feel what I'm saying? Those who use you. You know, I have people that use me all the time for money. And thinking that I had like loads of it to give because they knew that, you know, I was blessed in certain ways to always be fortunate to not ever, you know, starve. But that was early on in my life. And I remember I used to hang out with a group of guys, like when I was really young and I was about 16, 17, I already knew I was gay. I knew I was gay when I was like 4 years old. That is a whole story in itself. I was taken to a psychiatrist when I was young because my dad was like, Matthew will not be a faggot. I heard that word at 4 years old, okay? And my father can tell you right now that he never said it, but I remember it like it was yesterday, okay? And my mom and my dad took me to the psychiatrist, and I remember meeting this lady, and she was so, so sweet. And she put these toys in front of me, and it was always like the butch toy and the feminine toy. And when she did that, it was like, when she put them in front of me, I felt like I was being tested. So I, at 4, and mind you, I'm a smart man now, and I was a smart child then. Felt like she was setting me up for something, so I never wanted to grab anything. And she's like, well, why aren't you picking one? I said, because I feel like if I choose the one I want, I'm going to be wrong for choosing it. And she told me, you're not wrong for any choice that you make. Just remind yourself that those choices are going to be affecting your future. 4 years old, people. So one's a truck and one's a Barbie, one's, you know, Legos, one's like, you know, a cooking set, this and that and the other. Now, I picked both from both different sides. Like I chose the cooking set at one point. I rather had the G.I. Joe. I rather have had certain toys and stuffed animals. You know, everything was sort of a mixed hodgepodge of things, you know, hodgepodge of things, whatever. And she told me at 4, Matthew, you're going to be special. I know you don't know what this means, but you'll know what it means later, and you more than likely will find yourself attracted to the same sex. You're going to be special. And 4 years old, people, like I have to reiterate that. But she said that to me, and she also said, but you need to be careful because not everybody is going to accept you, and people are not going to understand who you are. You cannot let that stop you from being you. I wish I had that conversation when I was a little older, because at 4, I couldn't retain all of it, but I knew what she meant by it based on how my family situation was going, okay? You know, I grew up in a household where my father would tell us that he would kill us if he found out that we were gay. Or he would, you know, let somebody be on TV who was a little feminine. You know, he and my brothers would say the most nasty, horrible things. I'm sitting in this room with, and mind you, I have 8 brothers and 2 sisters, y'all. So I'm sitting in a room full of men. And women, mom and sister weren't there, you know, all the time. But I'm in this room full of men, and they're having that conversation, and I'm like so uncomfortable. And my dad always made me watch boxing. He made me watch sports, and he would get so mad as when I was a child. He would get so mad. He'd get so mad at me for not wanting to enjoy those things. Like, sit down, watch this. This is what men do. They watch boxing, they do this, they do that. It was always that type of atmosphere. And it scarred me. It really did. It really hurt me all the way through high school, all the way into college, and into my early 20s. It did. Because I found myself wanting to do things I really didn't want to do so that people wouldn't hurt me. Or I feel that people wouldn't judge me differently. And then when I started to veer away from those things to things I really loved and things I liked, you know, I would find that hate find its way to me, and it would make me feel so down and so sad. And I would put myself into that negative zone. I've been in that zone quite a few times. And that was because I wasn't really secure in who I am. Now, right now, Matthew, this month, Matty Rants here, this guy, oh, please, I wish you would. I'll get you back. And at the same time, I won't entertain it, because I've actually sat in a line at a grocery store one time, and this dude was calling me all kinds of names. And I didn't turn around and go, fuck you, and do all that, because that wasn't necessary. Because at that time, I realized that this man, something is mentally wrong with him, where he needs to cuss me out behind my back, trying to get my fucking attention. I remember another time, I was in a grocery store with my friend Marcus and the 2 other people who I went to college with. They knew I was gay, but again, they didn't care. And we were standing in line. This guy was trying to check out at a self-checkout. It's like really late at night. Nobody is in the stores there. And I tried to help the guy out. He heard me talk and said, "Back the fuck up, faggot." And I was like, you know, like, well, let me back up. What made it worse is that he showed me a pistol that was sitting in between his dick and his pants, which, you know, for some people that can be kind of hot. But for me, I'm thinking this fool might shoot me over me trying to help him. And really, I had to look at his eyes. They weren't just bloodshot, they were yellow. I knew he was on some kind of whatever drug. That wasn't weed, baby. That was some hard shit. So I had to let it go. And you learn to let things go as time progresses, and you learn to give up on the full fight with some people, because some people cannot be saved. They have to save themselves, okay? And that's a part of you getting out of the negative zone, and also you not letting negative people get to your good place and put you in that zone, right? Another example of that, we were talking about friends and me used to being around them, and them using me. They don't think I don't know, but I know. They've talked a whole lot of shit. I had a lot of people really tell me, man, when you weren't around, let me tell you how that went down. And how they were always like, well, Matt has money, so he can come with us. Because if something bad happened, we know he got it. Okay? Used me. They were never my friend. They just know I had something that they didn't have, and they wanted to fucking take advantage of me for it. So start to recognize the signs in friendships. A good friend will always have your back. If you don't got it, they got it. If they don't got it, you got it type of situation. If they know they don't have it, they're going to tell you. It's not going to be something to where, you know, they need to feel ashamed of them being in a bad situation. Same thing goes for you, okay? Like, I have so much shit on this. But friendships, just be aware of those who call themselves your friends. If you feel like you can't trust that person, or you feel like that person's talking about you all the time, you need to really see what's going on. Is it you or is it them? But really investigate that. Don't waste your time on bad people. Do not waste your time on negative folks. Now, I can go into Drag Race and bring up Nina Benina Brown in this because a lot of people have their opinions about her negativity on the show and how other contestants throughout the seasons have been that way. I've personally talked to Nina at one point in time. I'm not her best friend by any means, you know, but she has given me clarity on where that comes from, as well as some of her sense of humor that people mistake for her being nasty and negative about the whole situation. Some people deal with negative situations differently, okay? So you have to sometimes sit back and respect that, or say to yourself, I still can't deal with that. So because I don't want to deal with that, I'm not going to. That is perfectly fine. Whatever works for you. But it has to work for you. It doesn't have to work for them. Remind yourself you are more important than the other party. Because if you go home to your own place of comfort and security and you don't feel right, you let somebody take control of that. And you allowed yourself to defeat yourself in that aspect, okay? I'm not a doctor. I don't have a degree in psychology. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I will tell you that from experience, I know what I'm talking about. And I have a good group of friends who will tell you that we have these conversations often about people we let into our lives that totally take us into that negative place. Now, remind yourself, because you're in this negative zone, you know, you can then find yourself looking for drama, okay? You find yourself sitting in a restaurant and you think someone's talking about you because you walked in. You may have a little sissy that walk. You may have a little tang and a little wang, you know what I'm saying? And you know someone looked at you when you came in and your immediate thought is they're thinking negatively of you. That's you. Now, they could be. But at the same time, when you're secure in yourself, who fucking cares, okay? But if you find yourself in that place, it can ruin your whole day. Y'all, here's my trick for this. The moment I feel like somebody has come for me, tried it, did something like that, I'll either respond to it the way I feel it should be responded, or I won't respond at all. And I'll put myself mentally in a good place. What do I love? What do I like? What things make me super duper happy? If you follow my Facebook page, you know that I sometimes post stuff from The Dodo. And if you know who The Dodo is, that's a Facebook group that does a lot of videos on pets, sheltered animals, things of that nature. And it shows some really, really cute, lovey-dovey, like the sweetest type of videos ever. And you see how I just got really happy about that? Because that one thing I love to look at makes my heart just full. It makes me just so, it tears up with happiness. See, look, now I want a dog. I really want a dog and a cat. Like both. Like people say, oh no, you can have them together. I have seen people with dogs and cats together, and I think that's like the most amazing thing ever. So I know I'm going to do that for my birthday. I'm going to do that for myself since I ain't got no man. Oh, whatever. We'll get there. We'll get there. That's something I'm working on too. And that's also another thing about the negative zone I want to bring up as well. You know, you can't find yourself wanting to have someone love you if you don't love yourself. And Rupaul says it, you know, if you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? It is the fucking truth. And I'll give you an example. Two people, one who I was in a relationship with and one who I wanted to be in a relationship with, but they didn't give me the time of day, and they made me feel like, you know, you got a lot to work on before we get there. Now, I'll give the first initial. I'm not doing their names. If they're watching this, they know. Now, E from Bama, that kind of helps out. When I was living in Alabama, I really loved this guy. I thought he was his heart was so big, and he had, his mind was so together. He knew where he was going. And even if he didn't know, he was setting his plans together. I love somebody who is like always constantly evolving, but is so secure in who they are as a person. And one thing I love too, I like somebody, look, this is my gay ass talking about stuff, but I like a man who I know if someone tries to ever physically harm us, this fool can take all of them. And that was E, okay? If I went anywhere, I always felt comfortable, because if someone did something, and he's not a violent person by any means, but that was the one who gonna check me, boo? Because I'll beat the shit out of you type of individual. I'm always attracted to the muscle guys. But anywho, we didn't work out because I was not in the right headspace with him. And I got upset at him for the stupidest things. I got upset with him because I felt like he would be doing things that I didn't like and I couldn't fully accept. And that was more from me than him. It was not about him, it was about me. Because really, when I looked back at the things that he did, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong at all. He really, well, no, he didn't do anything wrong. I got into it with his brother. And his brother was trying to read me, you know, about my skin tone or whatever. And I used to read him back. I would call him some kind of name about his body shape and all that type of stuff. And after his brother left or whatever, and, you know, I would be talking to E would tell me, oh, my brother really likes you, whatever, whatever. But I'm like, no, he doesn't, because he's talking about me. And fuck him for that, because da-da-da-da-da. And E would look at me like, come on, Matthew, like, where is all that coming from? It's coming from me, because I wasn't secure with myself. I wasn't happy with me. So when someone took something of mine that I may have an insecurity about, it was magnified. It was taken and blown up, and it made me want to attack them. Okay? That's what a lot of these people do now when they try to attack you in the comment section, when they try to attack you on pictures that you have, when they try to get you to when they feel like they're getting you together. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let it go, and you also have to fight the right battle, okay? Not every battle is for you. Not every war is your war. Sometimes you can comment on things and you're damn right for doing so. But choose wisely, kids, because sometimes that's you fighting with you versus you fighting with someone else. Because you could pick a fight with somebody who really didn't have an issue with you. And now that person is looking at you crazy because you blew up on them for no reason. So, to E, who is currently in a relationship with this new individual who I love dearly. I actually saw them a couple months ago. I went out to Alabama to see my brother and sister-in-law, and I got to see my sister too, who I hadn't seen in a while. I cried so much because I was so happy to see her. It was like another feeling, because the last time I saw her, it wasn't like really the best. And I felt like she was one that judged me a lot. But again, it was me. And I let that affect me. So I was able to come see her and totally feel nothing but that good warmth, okay? Okay. But I saw him and his boyfriend, and we met at the mall. You know, we sat down and ate. I of course, have my crazy jokes and my crazy sense of humor and everything else. But I was so happy to see them in love. And I was so happy to see that the person he was with was someone who was secure, someone who was handsome. I mean, that always matters, because it's like, am I still the beatest one of them all? No. But it was nice to see them connected and to feel that connection. And I think I got to see him again before. Yeah, I got to see him again before I left, because I wanted to go over to my ex's house. Y'all like, ooh, Matthew. No. I wanted to go see. We lived in an apartment that was crazy fucking shit, okay? And I wanted to go see him in his home because, again, I'm searching for that positivity from people who were in my past who never did me wrong. And I see him in his home, his beautiful home, his sweet baby dog, all that good stuff. I see this, it was his home. And it felt like that, and I felt that warmth and love in there, and I just was so happy for him. I'm still happy for him, and if you're watching this, E, I gotta say that you have all my love, you and your boo. And again, I hope I see y'all again as well, and I gotta go to church with y'all one time, because E be on that organ, baby, going the fuck in, okay? And I saw a video from his boo singing. Go in, brother, go in. But that kind of story right there helped me, because I left Alabama thinking this person had a negative thoughts about me. You know, they just, Matthew can't do, you know, it was really all in my head. But in actuality, you know, with E in that situation, that was me. And to see him again and to see him have such a, it's good to see you, you know, type of, it felt really good. That's all love right there, baby. The second one, this is Kay, and this is out here in Houston. This is somebody who was older than me, one of the most handsome men who I've ever met in my entire life. I lived for his way of thinking and his attitude. Now, he's a hard-headed Taurus by all means, okay? And I'm a Libra, so we're very indecisive. So sometimes the Taurus can get really frustrated with a Libra when they're trying to make a decision on things. And with me, I wasn't completely honest with him all the time. I was giving him half-truths because I felt like if I told him the full story, it's going to change his opinion of me. Okay? So, and y'all, I'm being honest as I can right now. I'm being fully honest with you. And he then stopped talking to me, and it put me in this really bad place. I mean, I was so ready to just give up on life because I knew this was the one. This was the one. This was the guy for me. This is the one. I got to be in this relationship. I have to be in love to feel love. No. I learned from that whole debacle, you know, the conversations we used to have, him being what I thought was negative, but what was really tough love. And we've spoken off and on since then. I still have feelings for the guy. You know, I don't know if I'm in love with him like I used to be, like I used to really be, but I care for him because even though the last time we spoke, it was, you know, a little not necessarily the greatest conversation, but what it did tell me was that he still cared about me, and I still care about him, and I hope he does well, and I hope everything happens for him, and I know he feels the same way about me. And I left that situation just like that, not thinking this guy hates me, he was talking shit about me. No, he just wanted me to be a better Matthew. He wanted me to be a better Matty, you know? He wanted me to be better because I myself was not ready to be the best me, okay? And that's about that negative zone where you put yourself in your head and you say, I can't do this. I'm not able to. No one will care. You really got to let it go. Find things that are positive. Get the right people around you. For someone said that, you know, I don't have any friends and I don't want any friends. Let me tell you something. Hey, if you want to be by yourself, great. But you need a support system. You do need a little support system, whether it's family or just that one best friend. You need to find somebody in your corner that really helps you in life because you don't want to always be by yourself in terms of your emotions, because sometimes you need that person to really validate how you're feeling or tell you you're wrong so they can help you grow as a person, okay? I got to say, everyone, that, you know, shoot, I mean, I can get into another ex of mine where, you know, they got me smoking cigarettes. They got me doing all kinds of bad shit. And at the end of that relationship, I'm not even going to give them their initial. This was something that happened a long time ago, okay? This guy told so many people so many lies about me. And it made me so angry and disgusted. And I got so mad at myself for even dealing with this ex-convict. And he was an ex-convict. But you know what I did? I let it go because I said to myself, I'm not going to hold this against him because that's just going to hurt me. And what I did was I messaged him on Facebook. He's blocked me by now. Y'all, the real tea. The real tea is that he ended up in a relationship with somebody who was on my friend's page, who was my friend on Facebook, who knew we had pictures together. Okay, they say they didn't meet until after we broke up. Lies, I knew that later, okay? But they both blocked me by now. I don't care. But the thing is that I messaged him prior to all that, and I said, you know what? I said, I forgive you for everything you did to me, and I'm sorry for everything I did to you. Now, let me tell you something. We may not all recognize what the fuck we did, because sometimes we think that we're right in every situation, but we can also forget that we're wrong at times too because of what we feel is right inside of us. Learn to forgive. Learn to forgive. You don't have to forget everything. Okay? You don't have to, because you don't want the same thing coming around and hurting you again. But when you forgive somebody, ooh, that feeling is so strong, because guess what? Once you forgive them, you don't have to go over it again. You don't have to go over that situation. They can bring it back up, oh, by all means, but I've already forgiven you. So that no longer has a place in my heart, okay? We all have obstacles, but obstacles are meant to be overcome, okay? Challenges the same. Find things that make you feel good. I like taking a hot bath with a good old candle from Bath and Body Works, White Barn, you know what I'm talking about, and listening to Sade. It gives me so much life, okay? And I'm talking about dark ass in the back, you know, dark ass room, 2 candles lit, like real dim type of shit, with a good old Epsom salt or whatever bath salts that you would put in there to make the, you know, bath, make it really soothing, and just sit in that water. And I'm talking about hot water, y'all. I want my pores to open the fuck up and just get everything out. I love doing that. I love it, I love it, I love it. Some people need a cigarette. Now, I don't recommend that because, again, I had an ex of mine that got me on cigarettes. Child, I went from Black and Milds to Newports to Cools, woo, to Camels, and I just said, I can't do this anymore. My teeth started to hurt, my throat started to hurt, and I found myself really just hating the taste. Now, if that's what you do, I understand that. When I get drunk sometimes, I'm kind of like, oh my God, I need a cigarette. Because I don't know about you, if you're one of those people that only smokes a cigarette when you're drunk, but sometimes I'm like, God, I gotta have one. And I've learned over the last year to just not do that anymore. Like, I'll find myself wanting it, but going, I can't. So do whatever makes you happy when you find yourself in a negative situation. Realize that every challenge like is in front of you is for you to overcome. You know, you're not set up for failure unless you've already set yourself up for failure. Be the best you can be. Don't get in your head and stay out that negative zone, okay? We're not in the in-between. This is not Stranger Things. How good is Stranger Things, by the way? But stay out of that zone, okay? You're better than that. You're more important than that. And done, okay? So to end this, like I will end each of these videos here with my good old Matty Rants Diaries for our Sundays. I love you. I care about you. I want you to do better. I hope you want me to be better. And I hope we can do this together, okay? Kisses and hugs. You got all my love. Remind yourself to check those links again. And I will see you next, well, shit, I'll see you Friday, Saturday. I'll see you Friday and Saturday for RuPaul's Drag Race. And I'll see you Sunday again for another installment on Diaries with another topic that we'll talk about, okay? Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.